Well, it's New Year's Day in Arizona, and of course, it's beautiful outside. I could wear, a t-shirt, so that's Arizona for you. And we always say, this is why we live in Arizona, because believe me, the summers are brutal. It gets so hot. But I just wanted a slight recap on my 2022 adventures because I didn't really start full force again until summer. So in January, I actually made this record wall behind me. And as I happened to have received 735 45 RPMs for free. And my son and my daughter and I all went through everything that we wanted and everything that we thought we might want. And there were, I think like 250 that were left over that we didn't really care about. And so this wall took 135 of them. I do have the others that, we didn't want, but I still have them because I just can't let go of them. They're in a closet. And as I was thinking about doing this, I was like looking up different things like how to make a record wall and different things like that. And a lot of people had said, oh, use, command strips or Velcro and stuff. And I thought, I don't want to do that because how am I going to use the records later if I ever want to? So what I did is I took a little, like a sewing pin, and I just nailed it in, and I have the records actually just hung up on each one. I'll get a closer picture of that. And then I also saw, they said, separate them by color because you're not gonna know that, it looks completely random back there, but you have to make sure that you don't have like 5 black labels in a row or 5, red. You have all different colored labels all over the place. So you actually really had to think about that. And so I separated out all the different labels and the different colors and piles and did that. And yeah, I eyeballed it. I did not measure, I did not level it, I didn't do anything. So I think there are 13 rows going down. And it was just fine. It was like super lined up, perfect. Row 9 goes, wonk, and it went right up to the side. So 9, 10, and 11, I had to take them all off, redo them all, and then complete it. So in total, it took me about 3 hours to do. So that was my first, we'll say, adventure back into 2022, because I hadn't done any since COVID hit, actually. So then I actually got to look for wedding dresses with my daughter in January. She was engaged on December 26th in 2021, and I was so excited for her. I was so happy. And so we looked for wedding dresses, and then we skipped to May, and my daughter-in-law, my sisters, and I all put on a bridal shower for her, and it was so beautiful. I was so thankful to everyone that really helped with that, and especially shout out to you, Carrie. She spent a ton of money on that. Shout out to you, Kristen, my daughter-in-law, for hosting and getting everything together, all the decorations and things. Then in June, actually we left the day of my birthday, June 25th, we left for Mission Beach in San Diego. Now every year, my brother-in-law rents a beach house right on the boardwalk, and he is gracious enough to let us stay with him for a whole week. And so we did our normal June to the end of July. Sometimes it's in July, 4th of July there, but we got to go to Mission Beach in June. Then in July, I did a kayaking trip in the caves in La Jolla. Oh, I just loved it. It was something that I didn't think I would be able to do, but I had been working out with weights for the past 2 years. And actually, had I not been doing that, I would not have been able to, do my paddle out into over the wave break. It was quite strenuous, and I was paddling. Now, I'm not saying I was the first one. There was a whole group of us, and but I wasn't last. Second to the last a lot, but I wasn't last. So that was something. So we had a lot of fun. I'll throw up a couple of pictures of that also. Then in August, I went to Seattle. I'd never been to Seattle. I was there for, I just flew in. And then we got our rental car, me, my son, Ronnie, and my daughter-in-law, Kristen. They were gracious enough to let me stay with them. We got a house up in Mount Rainier, Airbnb, and then we rented a car. We had to stop by in Tacoma Stadium High School because that's what inspired my daughter's proposal. And that's actually where her husband wanted to propose to her, was there because of the movie 10 Things I Hate About You in the stadium steps there. It has been closed due to COVID, so he wasn't able to do that. But he had been planning since 2019 and then it closed in 2020. But anyway, so we all had to go and, take a look at it. And then we went up to Mount Rainier and we had some, it's so funny because I had no idea where my daughter was staying. And I'm like, okay, we're here, we're at our Airbnb, where are you? Because she got there a couple of days before us. And she gives me the address and I look and walking directions were 10 minutes. It was literally down the same road we were on. And it was so funny, in the same neighborhood, everything. So we went on down there and we ended up hosting her rehearsal dinner and her wedding reception at our Airbnb outside. There was a really nice area outside that we could do that. And she got married at her Airbnb, which is the little blue A-frame. So it just worked out just perfect. At the end of that trip, we did go back to Seattle and I got to spend just the afternoon, actually. We went to the marketplace, the public marketplace, and got to look around there. I really wanted to see, a few other things. Oh, I did get to see the gum wall. That was nasty. But don't worry, I got pictures for you. And then we came home. So then in September, I went with my cousins and my sisters and my mom, and we did a glow-in-the-dark 3D mini golf. And we thought, oh, that'll be so fun. So we put on our 3D glasses. Now we're all a bunch of old ladies. And, as you can see, I'm not a super in shape woman, but we're walking and there were all of these even raised on the floor, like this high up. And there's all these little things. We have our 3D glasses on over, our glasses. And I'm like, I cannot see. I had to put them up. Everything was so wonky and we were starting to trip. And, that was not something that you need a bunch of old ladies doing, is tripping and, fall, break a hip or something. You really don't want that. So we all ended up taking off our 3D glasses and just going around. And if we saw something, when we would stop and standing there, we'd put them on so we could see some of the 3D effects. So that was really fun. Went and had lunch. In October, I started this channel. And I didn't think I was going to be doing what I'm planning in 2023, which is an adventure a week. But I just thought, I'll just do one a month and we'll just start this again. And like I said, I did not know how to edit. I didn't know how to do anything, actually. I barely knew how to record a video on my phone. And so that's where we started. I just thought, you know what? You've been putting it off since January of 2017. You just got to go, jump in, do it. So I did. In November, I went to the Japanese Friendship Gardens with my sister Kathy, and we walked all around there. It was stunning and beautiful. Tried some Japanese snacks straight from Japan. There were some little carrot sticks, I think they were, but they were like air fried or something. So we were eating those. It's kind of like veggie straws, but it's kind of what they were. But they had this cake. Oh my goodness, it tasted just like hot chocolate, just melting in your mouth. It was delicious. I would love to go back and get some more of that. And then in December, I decided, I'll surprise you all on my YouTube channel and tell you in 2023, I'm going to do an adventure a month. I'm sorry, an adventure a week, not a month. And so I thought, let's try in December and let's see how it goes. So in December, we started with the Cousins Christmas Party, where we have food, we make crafts, play left, right, center, and just have a great time. So I did that. Then I did the lights at the Mormon temple in Mesa. They had not had them on for 5 years. They had gone through an extensive renovation, and this was the first time in 5 years the lights were there. And I am born and raised in Arizona, in the East Valley, a lot of time in Mesa, and I had never been, and I'm 61 years old. So that was kind of crazy. And so I did that, and then I was a guest on a podcast again. I had been on one in, I think it was 2021, Women Emerging Fearlessly. And that was just a chance thing. It was on a Facebook group, and, hey, does anybody have anything interesting? And I just told them I was doing the Year Dating Me, or I had done that. I wasn't still doing it at that point. And so she asked me to be on. Now this podcast is for MJ and Tosh. And Tosh is my cousin, Natasha, and MJ is her cousin on the other side of the family. And they started a podcast, and I was their very first guest. Now, this time I got to be in studio, which I hadn't been before. So I had the headphones on, and you're talking, which is really odd because you hear yourself talking in the headphones. I never had experienced that before. So that was a little something to get used to. And then we went and saw Christmas lights on Upton Drive, which is probably 1.5 miles, 2 miles from me. And it's just house after house after house of everyone doing Christmas lights. I mean, there are even the 2-story houses, there's lights strung across from house to house, going back and forth across down the street. And it is a sight to behold. They have horse-drawn carriage rides. They will have like some food trucks sometimes come. All these different things. A lot of the kids sell hot chocolate and little treats. And of course, I always love to buy from the little kids because I remember, me having a lemonade stand back in the day and just wishing someone would come and give us a quarter for a lemonade. So I always give at least $1, sometimes $5, depending on what I have in my wallet. But so I went there just driving around looking at all of those lights. That was so fun. And then I went to the Desert Botanical Gardens, and this was I said, just a couple of days before Christmas. It was Los Noches de los Luminarias, and it was just stunning. I just loved it. The paths were all lined with luminarias. There were sculptures. There were all kinds of bands and entertainment. It was just so fun. And by bands, I don't necessarily mean they were all bands. I mean, there was harpists. There were groups that were just like brass section and things like that. It was just really lovely. I did get one more adventure in, but I'm not going to be able to post it. So I wasn't able to post it at the end of the year. So you will see it, the first adventure that I do in January. So I'm going to keep quiet on that. Tick a lock, throw away the key. So I hope you stay tuned to watch all the adventures that happens in 2023.